Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more videos on lesson content.
Got no place to be, got no place to go. Come hang out with me on the Mr. Flanders Show.
Hello everybody, Mr. Flanders here, and welcome to another exciting edition of Saxon Math, distance learning version. Okay, we are looking at Guided Class Practice 125A for the start of this week's lessons, and you will already see that I have started on number 1. Okay, and if you would like to start copying me as well, that is great. I'm going to tell you right now, I have 10 of these squares, and at each square are 3 dots. If you do not want to draw them yet, that's fine. However, they do represent what is happening in our number question here. All right, so please follow along as I read this. If you are drawing your pictures, that is fine too. Just make sure you kind of have your ears on a little bit and you're listening. All right, number 1. 3 children can sit at each table in room 7. There are 10 tables in the room. Draw a picture to show the tables and chairs in room 7. How many children can sit in room 7? Okay, so basically you've got 10 tables in the classroom and 3 kids are sitting at each table. I have drawn the tables, and I've drawn the dots equal the chairs or the students, whatever you want to look at. But this is going to be a multiplication problem. So we're going to start our number sentence for this problem using the number of tables. How many number of tables are there in this problem? Well, just in case you forgot, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, there are 10. So I'm going to write 10. And since I've said this is going to be a multiplication problem, we're going to put our x there, our times sign. 10 times blank. So what number do you think we are going to multiply by? Yes, we are going to multiply by the children or the chairs, however you want to look at it. But basically we need to multiply the dots. So how many dots are there at each table? There's 1, 2, 3. So we're going to write 3. Okay. 10 times 3 equals what, guys? Now there are a couple different ways we can do this. Okay. We can do this by counting all of the dots, which we will do in just a moment. There's also another way to do this. And that it's a really, really simple way. It looks a little scary at first, but it's not. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to move to this spot right here. I'm going to write 10 times 3. Okay? Now I've written that like how you would normally see like one of our multiplication problems, or how you'd see one of our addition problems. You see your addition or your multiplication problems like this during our class fact practices. So this should look very similar to what you've seen before. So, if we're looking at it now, we're going to break it down like we would one of our normal addition or subtraction problems, or one of our multiplication problems. We're going to look at it like this. We've got 10 times 3. We're going to start on the right side. 0 times 3 is what, everybody? Well, we know we can't multiply 0 by any number, so it's always going to be 0. So we're going to write 0. Okay? And then 1 times 3. Well, what is 1 times 3? 1 times any number is always going to be that other number. So 1 times 3 would be 3. And that is our answer. That is 30. Now, just to make sure I've done it the right way, we're going to count all the dots together. Okay, get ready with me, and go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So yes, we did it correctly. Okay, we have all of our dots here that represent the students of the chairs, whatever you want, and we've got the squares that are the tables. So we've got 10 tables, 3 students at each table. 10 times 3 is 30. And what we're going to write here is 30 children. Okay? 30 children. Boom. Go ahead and take a second and finish that up. It's a pretty easy question if you ask me. Pretty easy stuff, guys. Excuse me for a moment. I'm going to get a drink of water. All right. Moving on to number 2. We're still sticking with the multiplication mindset, but we're going to be looking at an array. Okay? If you remember, an array is a collection of information, usually done up in columns and rows. So we need to label our array first, and then we need to write the number sentence for our array. Well, let's take a look at our array. How many do we have in our column here? 1, 2, 3. Okay, we're going to write 3 there. And then how many in our row? 1, 2. Boom. So this is going to be 3 times 2. I'm going to write that over here. 3 times 2 equals what? Well, a couple different ways we could solve this. The easiest way for us is just going to be counting the squares in the array. So go ahead and follow along as I count them out loud. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 3 times 2 is 6. That is correct, my friends. Boom. 6. Okay. For number 3, we are going to be doing some estimates. Now remember, estimates are guesses, and we're going to be rounding up or rounding down to make the best guess possible to find the best number sentence for the sum of 63 and 29. So that's what number 3 says. Circle the best number sentence to use to estimate the sum of 63 and 29. And if you remember, the sum is the total. That's the number we get when we add both numbers together. Now, for our first number, 63, would we round up or would we round down for that? Okay, we're rounding to the nearest 10. Now, remember, if we are at like 65 and above, we would round up to the number 70 because that's the next 10. But we're at 63 right now. Would we still round up or would we round down? That's right, we would round down. So, if you are doing this in your paper packet, I want you to write the number 60 here because we now know we're working with the number 60. Okay? So we're going to put 60 there, and then we're going to move on to the number 29. Okay? The number 29, we need to figure out if we're rounding up or down to the nearest 10. If we're rounding down, we're rounding to 20. If we're rounding up, we're rounding to 30. What number should we round to? That's right, we should round to 30 because 29 is only one number away from 30. So that's 30 would be the nearest 10. So we're going to write 30 over the top. Okay, if you're doing this in Google Classroom, don't worry about that. I didn't put boxes there for you to type in. This is just me doing something to help you guys out, just so you can see what numbers we're working with. Okay, so we now know that we are adding 60 plus 30 together. Now we need to find the best number sentence to circle. We're looking for number 60 and 30. So our first one is 60 plus 20 equals 80. Is this the number sentence we want? No, it is not. What about 60 plus 30 equals 90? Is this the number sentence we would be looking for? Yes, it is. It's got the 60 and it's got the 30 we're looking for. So this would be the one we would circle. If you're doing this in Google Classroom, you should have a little area down at the bottom of your page. You can just grab that little circle there from that area, bring it on up, and circle that answer. Okay? Number 4, we're going to be looking at fractions. And it says, Sandy's family ate 2.5 cakes. Wow, Sandy's family, they need to calm down because I want some cake. How dare they? Sandy's family ate 2.5 cakes. Color the cakes to show how much cake they ate. And then, how much cake is left. So this is where we're going to write our answer, right here. If you're doing this in Google Classroom, you already know that. You'll see the blue box. Also, if you're doing this in Google Classroom, you'll notice that I've already shaded in the boxes for you. Okay? But what we need to do first, before we're writing anything in this box, for my friends who are doing this in their paper packet, we need to color in 2.5 cakes. So we're going to be coloring in at least 2 full squares. That's what this big 2 means. So I'm going to do that now. 1, and then 2. Now I need to eat half a cake. So I'm going to look at this square here, and I'm going to karate chop it in half. Hi-ya. Okay? It is now in half. I'm going to color 1/2 in to show that this family has eaten 1, 2.5 cakes. Okay? Now, how much cake is left? Well, all we need to do is look at the pieces that are not colored in. We can see that we have a half of a cake here, and then we have a whole cake here. So this whole cake would equal 1, and then this half a cake here, we would just write 1/2. We would be looking at our numerator and our denominator for that. Our numerator would be 1, because that's how many spots are not colored in. And then our denominator would tell us how many spots there are total. That'd be 1, 2. So that's how we would draw 1/2. Okay? Good. 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 As you are finishing that up, I'm going to move the page up a little bit, but do not feel rushed at all. Okay? Take your time. Take your time. Boom. Now, for number 5, we're going to be circling the clock that shows a 5:45. Now, if you remember last week, we were working with quarters. We split our clock into 4 pieces, and we found out that a quarter on a clock is basically 15-minute increments. So, what we need to do is figure out which 15-minute increment we are working with. If we are looking for a clock that shows a 5:45, that means our minute hand is going to be on the 9, moving to the 12 soon, because it is a quarter to the new hour. So I've already told you our minute hand needs to be on the 9. So we know we're not working with this clock, and we're not working with this clock. Okay, we're going to be working with one of these 2 clocks. Now, our minute hand is on the 9, moving to the 12, because when a clock is a quarter to a new hour, that means we are 15 minutes away from the new hour. And that's what we see here. We are 5, 10, 15 minutes away from the new hour. What we need to figure out is our hour hand going to be before the 6 or after the 6? Now remember, if it's before the 6, that means it's going to be in the previous hour, the hour before that. If it's in the if the hour hand is after the 6, that means we are still in the 6 o'clock hour, moving into the next hour, which would be the 7 o'clock hour. If we are 5:45, that means we are moving into the 6 o'clock hour. So which clock here shows that? So we've got our minute hand on the 9, moving to the 12. We've got our hour hand here, moving from the 6 to the 7. Is that what we should be doing? Should our clock be 6:45? because that's what this clock shows. No, we should not be a quarter to 7. We should be with this clock, because you'll notice our hour hand here is moving from the 5 to the 6, and our minute hand is on the 9 moving to the 12, meaning we are moving to the 6 o'clock hour. So this would be a quarter to 6. I'm going to circle this clock right here. Okay, and if you're doing this in Google Classroom, you should have a circle down at the bottom of your page. You can move over it. Good, good. And as we are finishing up, we're just going to be looking for the answers and a couple of addition questions and one subtraction question. So without further ado, let's jump into it. 217 plus 394. We're adding for this one. So we're going to start with the numbers on our right side. We're going to look at 7 plus 4. What is 7 plus 4? 7 plus 4 is 11. So I'm going to put the 1 down here. I'm going to carry the 10 from our 11. We've now got 1 plus 9. What is 1 plus 9? That would be 10. And we've got 10 plus this 1 here. 10 plus 1 is 11. So we put our 1 here again, and we carry the 10 from our 11. 2 plus 3. What is 2 plus 3, everybody? That would be 5. So what's 5 plus 1? 6. So 217 plus 394 is 611. Good work, guys. All right. Go ahead and take another moment, finish that up before we move on to 621, take away 73. All right. Let's go ahead and take a look at 1, take away 3 in this problem. Okay, if I have 1 finger, can I take 3 away? No, we cannot. So what we are going to do, my friends, is we are going to regroup from this 2 here. So this 2 turns into a 1, okay? And then our 1 here turns into 11. So what is 11 take away 3? It would be 8. Now, as we move on, we've got 1 take away 7. Oh my goodness, here we go again. If I have 1, can I take 7 away? No, we cannot. So this 6, we're going to have to regroup using it. We're going to cross that out, turn it into a 5, and this one now becomes a boom, 11. What is 11 take away 7? That would be 4. And then we just bring down our 5. So 621 take away 73 is 548. Boom. And then lastly, we are going to move on to our final addition problem for this worksheet. We've got 58 plus 9 plus 33. Okay, 58 plus 9 plus 33. We're going to start on our right side. Now I understand that there are 3 numbers here to add. Sometimes that can get a little tricky. Let's just do the best that we can. Okay, so we've got 8 plus 9 is what, everybody? If you need to, go ahead and plug the 9 in your head and count using the 8. So move up 8 spots. So we're at 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So 9 plus 8 is 17. 17 plus 3 is what, everybody? It would be 20. So I'm going to put our 0 from our 20 there. I'm going to put our actual 20 up here. Okay. So now we've got 5 plus 3, and then we're going to add the 2 in just a moment. Now remember, this is a blank spot here because this was not like 19 or 29. It was just 9, so we're not adding anything here. So we got 5 plus 3. What is that, everybody? You've got 5, and you add 3. Your answer would be 8. So now we've got our 8 here. What's 8 plus 2? 8 plus 2 is 10. We're going to write our 10 here because there's no other numbers to add. So now we know that 58 plus 9 plus 33 is 100 even. Boom. All right. And as you are finishing that up, my friends, remember that this was an A side and B side worksheet. We just went over A together. You are now to use these skills that you learned on this worksheet or practice on this worksheet to do the B side on your own. However, I understand sometimes this stuff can be a little tricky. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns about it, please let me know on ClassDojo or Flipgrid. I would love to help out as much as I can. Until our next lesson, everybody, please stay safe out there. Please stay positive at home. And please, please, please don't pick your nose. Catch you later.